Sophie, JD, who recruited me for this effort. I appreciate it. I'm going to challenge you today to ask yourself some questions. Who owns you? The answer may seem simple. You own yourself, right? However, who is responsible for you? Is it your parents? Well, maybe till 18. Perhaps your spouse. Well, they think they may act that part. However, what about your health insurance company? Oh, definitely not. We interact with those every day. What about your boss at work? What about the entity you work for? Are they responsible for you? What about your town, your county, your state, or dear old Uncle Sam, the federal government? They're not always responsible for themselves, alone for you. The answer, my friend, is not blowing in the wind. Let me introduce you to something, the pride of ownership. Let's start with the 80-20 rule. You are probably familiar with this axiom that about 20% of an organization's membership does 80% of the work. Well, here's another instance. In school prior to and in the early 1990s, we were taught that 80% of the health outcomes were genetically driven or a fait accompli. No matter what you do, you can only control 20% of the factors. Well, I have good news for you. All of that was wrong. Since about 2000, we found that about 20% is genetic and 80% is habit and lifestyle driven. In fact, you can even potentially change the expression of some genes by what you do and don't do every day. But with a healthy lifestyle, you may postpone issues that might come up. For example, if you have bad genetics where everybody gets a certain kind of cancer, with the right lifestyle, you may postpone your issue indefinitely and never have the problem. And on the contrary, let's say you have great genetics and most of the people in your family live quite a long time. However, if you smoke, if you drink, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't exercise, then you might have an exposure that leads to cancer. Imagine that, being able to control both your short and long-term health to a reasonable certainty. Health is number one. Only you own your own body, not the government, not your employer, not your insurance company, not your school, not your family, not even your spouse, which may come as a surprise to that person. You are responsible for your existence, proper operation, state of health, repair, ongoing maintenance, and efficiency. Others may make overtures and outcomes, but take a look at yourself. Are you what you want to be? At any age, there's both the best and the worst possible. You will definitely have an outcome for sure. The question is, which one and what can you do about it? That's a lot of responsibility from your first breath in the morning. Individuals must own their own health. Individuals have an intrinsic right to own themselves and their body autonomy to make their own choices. Individuals must be responsible to themselves for their state of health and health outcomes. We must also have informed consent for every medical and research procedure. You have the right to know the risks, the benefits, the alternatives, and the costs. And here's the biggest one of all, you have the right to refuse or say no. Health and maintenance. We don't really own our cars, as the bank usually does that these days, but we do know how to take care of them. You put in good fuel, you top off the fluids, keep airing the tires, align the wheels, run the car regularly, get the brakes checked, clean the car, get routine maintenance. How about the human body, the most amazing machine the world has ever seen? What's the maintenance for that? What does your day look like? Think you get up early? My middle school son wanted to play high school football. He didn't know the game. He wasn't mentally or physically prepared for it. He just wanted the benefits, like most people. Who wouldn't? When he expressed interest, my wife and I told him, learn the game, exercise, maybe do some practice games with others, maybe do some league that you could play and learn the game and learn how to play as a team and compete. So he took this quite to heart because he wanted the end result. He wanted to be better and wanted to be part of it. So what he did was, he did flag football for 2 seasons. He went ahead and learned all about professional football, about the game and all the statistics. And he talked the talk and he walked the walk. And he said to me, Dad, I want to go to the gym with you. When do you go to the gym? And I said the same thing that my dad said to me. Morning comes early, son. I go at 5 a.m. So he said, maybe I could go before school? I said, absolutely. You're welcome to come with me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And for the next 6 months, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he came with me to the gym and then went off to school. So after 6 months passed, it came to summer. And it came for the football camp to start right before his 9th grade year in high school. He came to my wife and I and he said, okay, I've done everything you've asked. And my wife looked at me and she gave me that tell him no husband of mine look. And I looked at him. I said, you've done everything we've asked. You've bettered yourself. You, my son, have earned it. And you get to play football in high school. So, in other words, he yearned, he learned, and he earned the privilege. And although he didn't have all the natural talent in the world, sorry for the 20% genetic thing, son, and he did sit the bench a bit as a backup quarterback, but it taught him a valuable lesson that you can imagine, plan, work hard, and achieve your goal. Take control and responsibility for your life. Getting healthy and staying healthy is just that simple. Be enthusiastic. You will succeed and see results. Ah, yes, there will be lateral moves and even setbacks, but health is job one from the minute you open your eyes in the morning. How many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to want to change. That old joke is axiomatic and dogmatic. For primarily, only you can change yourself. Take stock of what you got and get started. You can do this.
I was just saying.
Always set yourself up for success whenever possible. Know your limitation and your weaknesses. Self-knowledge is power. Planning, action, persistence, and time will improve your physical and mental preparedness. Find your motivation. Is it power, achievement, money, pleasure, family, giving, maybe religion, or maybe it's just guilt that motivates you. Whatever it is, pick your stimulus for it out. Planning, action, persistence, and time will improve your physical and mental health. And put your own well-being first, and every mother needs to hear that. As a person, if you can't help anyone else, you won't be stable, happy, and growing. William Shakespeare said in Hamlet, "To thine own self be true." In fact, Steve Jobs, the late co-founder and former CEO of Apple, said, your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma. That's just living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. And somehow they already know what you're trying to become. Everything else is secondary. Make a plan. Plan your day, plan your week, plan your month, and plan your year. All successes begin with self-discipline. It all starts with you, says actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Prioritize a vegetable-based diet. Modify the way you need to. Reduce the calories. Get an hour of exercise daily. Avoid poisons and toxins like concentrated sugars, caffeine, alcohol, cigarettes, cannabis, and illicit drugs. You may not know this, but medications and most medical treatments are selective poisons designed to reduce symptoms and reduce the impact of a disease on the body. They are not necessarily cures, fixes, or without side effects for that matter. With the right lifestyle over the long haul, you may not even need them. What about the supermarket? Well, the 80-20 rule strikes again. 80% of the supermarket is so-called luxury food stuff. High calories, over-concentrated, artificially preserved, or even synthetic food-like product. Right. These are not worth your time and hard-earned dollars. Shop at farm markets for locally grown produce. It's good for you, the farmer, and the earth. Don't set yourself up for failure. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. That phrase is often attributed to former President Harry S. Truman. Don't put yourself in a position to fail. If you can't resist ice cream, don't go to the ice cream shop. Don't walk through the frozen food section of the supermarket. Patients often hear me say, I have enough willpower to say no, but I don't have enough willpower to say no more thank you. Many of us can't be led to temptation, or worse, just have a taste of something, actual or metaphorical. This can lead to the beginning of a slippery slope to failure. All the negative emotions, feelings, destructive thoughts. If you can't resist gambling, don't go to the casino for dinner. It would be no sooner to go to a casino for dinner and a show if you can't walk past the gambling machines and the table games on the floor. Same goes for alcohol drinks in a bar with live music and entertainment. Be in the know. If you can't say no, don't go. Persistence pays. Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour, wrote English playwright John Haywood, circa 1538. It took me 4 months of persistent phone calls to a radio station manager before he would grant my request to pitch a radio show idea. I kept calling back month after month, and I was put off and put off and put off, and I kept coming back 4 different times over 4 different months. And I insisted after the 4th time, I'm coming in. What would be the best time for you? I want to pitch this show for you. At that time, he said, come in Thursday at 9 a.m., which I did. Came in dressed appropriately, and I met with him at the university radio station. I gave a brief, enthusiastic spiel, and he stood up and declared with a smile on his face, I should say, Dr. Wax, welcome to University Radio. You're a persistent pain in the backside, and I know you'll show up. So proving that the groundwork over 4 months, I hosted the show Your Health Matters on a major university FM station in the Delaware Valley for 20 years based on persistence. Monitor your progress. Peter Drucker famously said, what gets measured gets managed. I say, what gets measured with intention, a plan, and action gets improved. Measure and record your weight and other vital signs every day. Know where you are in relation to your goal. GPS is an amazing tool, but it can't help you unless it locks into a signal. Just the same, you can't get to your goal until you know where you start. Follow your passion and your plan. There will be setbacks and dead ends, but don't quit. Examine, strategize, readjust, persist, and keep your daily health regimen. Patients always ask me in the exam room, but Doc, when is my cheat day? Well, there's good news and bad news with that one. First, the bad news. There's no cheat meal. There's no cheat day. There's no cheat vacation. There's no cheat anniversary. There's no cheat anything, because cheats of all sorts are epic failures. They derail your health train temporarily or even permanently if you allow it. Why would you achieve success during the week and throw it away on the weekend? If you stay on task with no cheats, you will achieve your success. You willed it to happen. You planned it to happen. You executed the plan. You steadfastly performed time and time again. You earned the results. Remember, you yearned, you learned, and you earned. Enjoy the feeling of satisfaction. Don't just celebrate with cheap luxury food stuff and set yourself back. Ask yourself, why would you short-circuit your success with your newfound bliss and satisfaction? You only have one body, mind, and spirit. You must live in there and only there, and I must live in mine. Manage your risks and get healthy. Health is a pursuit, not a destination. Make your head and body a healthy home. Then you can help others do the same. Teach and lead by example. Heal yourself first. Choose health. Health is number one. It's your health. Own it. Thank you very much.